afternoon, everybody. Thanks again for joining me. Hopefully, I've seen a few familiar names coming in from an earlier webinar today that we had on scaling up as part of Mid-Ulster Enterprise Week. So some of you are very welcome back, and to the new people that have joined me, you're very welcome to TikTok Tactics, our webinar as part of Mid-Ulster Enterprise Week, brought to you, of course, by Mid-Ulster District Council. My name is Denise Murta. I work for Dungannon Enterprise Centre, and I'm delighted to be supporting Mid-Ulster Council this week in the delivery and planning and event management of Mid-Ulster Enterprise Week. So I'm just giving Ria a few minutes to get slides and things ready. We've had a couple of wee technical difficulties, nothing too major, but as webinars, always something really simple can go wrong sometimes. So folks, bear with me just for a couple of wee seconds to give them a bit of time. But this afternoon, we're joined by two guests. So we have Ria Daly, who's our TikTok content creator and brand manager, who has a wealth of experience in TikTok in terms of building your business, building your brand awareness on TikTok. She has experience of working with companies such as Iconic Bronze, Bella Mianta, The Walk-In Wardrobe, and much, much more. And Ria has now got her own business, and this is what she specializes in. So she is bringing a wealth of knowledge with her today. In fact, when we were doing a few dummy runs beforehand, I was thinking, how are you going to narrow this down into a 1 hour session? So I know there's going to be lots of questions, and we'll try and get to those at the very, very end. Along with Ria, of course, we have a very special guest. Patricia McMahon is going to be joining us from Salt Marine Cars. So great to have an example of a local business who's using TikTok really, really well to get some exposure. And anybody that was on the Scaling Up webinar this morning will have heard from Benny O'Hanlon how Todd Sleep are starting to use TikTok as a way of building awareness and promotion as well. So just a few housekeeping rules before I hand over to Ria, just to let you know, usually people come on and they panic thinking, is my mic on? Is my camera on? Can people see me? But we're using Zoom webinars today, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. You're only going to see me, and you're going to see your speakers as well. If you have any technical difficulties, you'll see if you scroll down to the bottom, there's a chat function there. Our tech support team are in the background. So if you have any questions, any technical difficulties, just pop that into the chat function. If you have any questions, and I would encourage you to ask plenty of questions today, towards the end, we're going to keep about 10-15 minutes at the end for audience Q&A. There's a little Q&A box again down at the bottom of your screen, hopefully. And if you type in any questions throughout the session, put them in there, and I will be back on at the very, very end, and I will help facilitate question and answer. If we run out of time, because I know there's a lot to cover, I will download all those questions. So anybody who doesn't get their question answered, I'll go back and confer with Ria and Patricia after, and maybe get you an answer emailed out if that's okay. So I think I have covered everything I need to. Now it's just left for me to welcome Ria and Patricia. First of all, Ria is going to come on and have a chat with you. But folks, enjoy the webinar, and I'll probably see you towards the end for our questions.
Hello everyone, how are we all? Hopefully we can get our wee PowerPoint slides going, but if not, I'm just going to talk as if they are sitting on the screen. But thank you very much, Denise. Oh, we've got them up, brilliant. Kiva, you're a superstar. So, yes, hello and welcome to TikTok Tactics today. We're very excited to get chatting all things TikTok, the new upcoming platform for many businesses. Today would be a great opportunity as well for anybody that maybe hasn't yet got started on TikTok. Maybe you've just got started on TikTok and you don't know where to begin, because one thing I always sort of preface for TikTok, anybody getting started on it, is it's very different. Even the style of marketing strategy is very different to the likes of your Instagram or anything else, any other platform that maybe we're more familiar with over the last number of years. So this is what we're going to deep dive into today. But we also have a very special guest as well, who we're going to introduce in a couple of slides, and it's just going to tell us a little bit. She's brilliant testimonial to TikTok marketing strategy. So I'm very excited to get involved in that. As Denise was saying as well, if we do get to the end of the slides today and there's a couple of questions that aren't answered, I've left my Instagram handle just there. It's @RiaDaly_. So I'm open for any questions. If there's anything at all, any little tips and tricks you want to know, or if there's any questions, as I say, that hasn't got answered, I am more than happy to do so. So if you shoot me over at WeDM or an email as well, we can get that sorted. So think we'll get started into the first slide. So a little bit about me and what I do. So I have been a social media manager for, this is absolutely crazy, I'm going to say 2 years now, just over 2 years, which is a bit insane. I still feel like it's only yesterday since I've actually got myself onto the app. So I began social media management, first of all, through posting on my own channel. So I started TikTok, as we all did, I'm sure, back in lockdown, where it really took a turn of becoming much more than what it is now. And I quickly developed a passion for the platform for its unique potential and for its brand storytelling as well. But then when it got to a point where I was leaving my course in uni and I was working a job, I had got an opportunity for a social media manager position for Ballymanta, which we all know and love. And this is really where I honed in on my skills in crafting engaging content and growing brand presence. So this is definitely where I'd say my love for TikTok definitely flourished beyond what it already was. Like I truly am such an advocate for TikTok, especially for brand awareness, and for TikTok Shop as well, which we're going to get into. So when I was working with Ballymanta, I'd say for about a year, just under a year. And in March of this year, then I decided I'd take the leap and go out on my own, focusing on brands, helping brands establish their presence on TikTok and on TikTok Shop, using that first-hand experience to guide them through the platform's very dynamic landscapes, and drive success. So that's where we are now. So if I can get Kiva to click on to the next little slide on the PowerPoint. That's that wee slide. So yes, so we're going to strip it back because I'm sure many of you are familiar with TikTok and the short video platform that it is. That this allows users obviously to create, share, and discover engaging content, often set to music, through creative editing and interactive features as well. So I'm sure we all know TikTok. If we haven't, you'll know by the end of this PowerPoint, which is great. But so we're going to basically strip it back. I want to get to the point, and this is for anybody who is a total beginner who knows of the app, but you might be one of those people that are not that keen on getting started on TikTok and it seems too crazy and complex. We're really going to break it down and show you, first of all, how to get set up on it. We're going to look into brand awareness. So this is where Trish is going to give us her first-hand experience, and just get you posting and just really flourish on the app and use it for all its glory. So in recent years, TikTok has evolved from a platform primarily for entertainment and viral trends to a powerful marketing tool. It's funny, I always think of it as this, but back years and years ago, it was known as an app called Musical.ly. So it was specifically just known for its fun, short form videos. That was all the app was. So to think of the very short window that it's transformed, even in the number of years, is just absolutely wonderful. But with the introduction of TikTok Shop as well, allowing brands and creators to sell products directly through the app as well. So transforming the way that users engage with content and make purchases, as well as brands as well. So it's very different for users and for brands too, but for all good reasons. And we can get on to that next week's slide there. I think I have some screenshots. So this is how to get started. As I say, I really want to break it down for anybody that maybe hasn't got themselves on TikTok yet. If you haven't got an account on TikTok, this is, if you want to take a little screenshot of this, and I do want to preface as well, please do take notes throughout this PowerPoint because myself and Patricia, we were talking about this yesterday. I'm much more of like a visual learner, so I've got quite a lot of screen grabs in here rather than flooded with notes, because that's the way I'm better, especially with TikTok. I find you're nearly better getting to see how it looks yourself so that you know what buttons you're clicking. But yes, so this is for anybody that hasn't started their TikTok account yet and maybe wants to get onto it. This is a very, very simple step-by-step guide on how to get started. So of course, I always do recommend for any brands to get started on mobile, like on your device, whether it be the App Store, or if it's on Android as well. Get started through mobile phone, because obviously it's a short form video platform. You're going to be filming a lot of your content on the phone. You're not, unless maybe you're high tech, you might be using cameras and you might want to break it down and use it on desktop. But for me personally, I think it's far easier to use it on mobile. So once you download the app, this is the first little photo here on the left hand side. You'll have an option for sign up to TikTok. You can sign up in multiple ways. If you already, as I say, if you already have an established business, I would always advise to create a business account. This just means you won't run into any issues just down the line. If you do create a personal account and then switch it over to business, there is, and we'll dive into this being one of the things that little tips and tricks with TikTok. Business accounts do differentiate from a personal account. So that's why I always say for a business, you're better just getting yourself started as a business account, rather than, as I say, falling into any of those issues where if you've posted loads of videos, maybe you have a personal account when you first started and you switch over to business, you'll run the risk of TikTok then muting some of your audio. If you've used maybe commercialized music in the background, or non-commercialized music in the background of any of those videos, that could be a little issue, and then you've maybe lost all that content. So it's better just getting yourself started on business. And as I say, that's a great screenshot there. Very, very simple, breaking it down nice and easy for you. This is how to get yourself created. It will ask you, obviously, your required questions. It'll just ask for a couple of eligibility requirements, business verification, things like that. But once you break that down, it will get you onto the app, and that is your account created. Also, I would always say as well, with brands especially, make sure that you focus your platform. It's like Instagram, it's like your website. You're always going to have branded colors. You're going to have your branded logo. I would always say the same with TikTok. Make sure it's very brand focused. So you'll want to have like your profile photo obviously set as your brand logo. Always create a little bio as well. I would have a short little clip, just if you have virtual footfall, I like to call it. Anybody that stumbles across your page will want to know obviously what services there is to offer, what your business is about. So very short platform. And of course you can as well, if you are a business that maybe isn't selling their product directly through TikTok Shop. For example, if you're, as we'll get into when Patricia joins us later on, if you are someone, maybe, for example, a car dealership, don't think many people are going to be buying cars through TikTok Shop. So obviously you'll want to link your website into that, just so that everyone has a direct, an easy way to shop through your services. So that is, we'll go on to the next slide, Kiva, if that's all right. So this is down to the nitty-gritty now. This is how to leverage your content for growth and brand exposure. So there are so many reasons to get started on TikTok, and so many, I'm going to call them very simple ways, because once you get with it and once you know exactly what you're doing, it is just, it's simple marketing strategy. It's just a little bit different for TikTok than it is, as I say, on any other platform, because it's a different style of content. It's got a completely different algorithm to Instagram. I know they're trying to integrate that a little bit more through Instagram now to similarize to the way of TikTok, but it is absolutely astonishing the number of businesses that even I've worked with, or businesses that I admire, that have used TikTok to really leverage their business for brand growth simply through TikTok. It is such an absolutely incredible tool for brand outreach. For example, I know firsthand quite a lot of Northern Irish brands and Southern brands as well that have used TikTok just simply by posting content, sharing what they have to offer, and reached so many people across even the UK, even as far as the US. They've really grown and expanded their business through short form video. That's as simple as it is. So we'll get first into the first point, which is engaging and authentic content. This is what I always say to anyone I work with. Make sure that you've got engaging content. You want authentic content. It's like everybody, I feel, we're very clued in now. So if you see a video that you know is very pre-planned, I'm going to say, you'll know when you're watching it, that's scripted. Maybe that person doesn't want to be there recording that video. You feel like maybe you can always have a sense of realness. You'll be able to understand if someone is truly passionate about what they're selling, if someone is truly authentic, if they want to be here selling me a product. Obviously, you don't want to buy something or, buy into a service from someone who doesn't believe in their own product. So you want to see that authenticity and you want it to be engaging. The thing that's very important about TikTok, and especially if you are simply posting videos to grow your brand awareness, there is, given the way TikTok is embedded in everyone's mind now, TikTok has it's basically between that window of 30 seconds to 3 minutes is the average video span for those posting on the app. But within that time frame, you think that's great, that's plenty of time to get all that I need said. There is a 3-second window. So you have as little as 3 seconds to grab your viewer's attention. So one thing that I've definitely noticed with a lot of content that I work with for brands, they've got an incredible service or an incredible product. They might have a 6-minute long video, and I've told them, if you can concise that would be great. And they concise it down, and it's only 40 seconds long, and that's perfect because that's a great time frame to pop up on the on the platform, I've noticed that their viewing rate, and this is something that you can have a little look through on your analytics. You'll be able to actually see the average length of watch time. So you'll be able to see how long people have watched the clip for, how many seconds they watched before they swiped away. So it's very interesting to see that as an analytic and basically revise that and then implement that into your content. For example, if you're starting a video and you sit down, hi everyone, how are you? I'm just here to talk about, that's already, you've lost them. You know, that's as quick as it is. In that first 3 seconds, you have to grab their attention. You have to either bring your service to them, you have to show them what you have to offer. Why should I watch this video? Why should I buy into your business or your service rather than someone else's? So you really have a 3-second window, which is as crazy as it is. But what I would recommend with that then is headings. If you have something maybe a little bit more long-winded, if you're not maybe selling with a product, if you're not going crazy with a product and you haven't physically got a product to show off and you want to promote a service, and like Patricia's done, we're going to get into this because she uses the 5 color points of content strategy in an excellent way through the content for Salt Marine. I would always recommend headers. So we're going to get into that just down the line as well. I'll get Patricia to touch upon that. So it is a really, really, really good tool as well. So next of all, and this is where I'll say TikTok differentiates from Instagram. So you've got the use of hashtags and trends, which in my belief is absolutely phenomenal in growing your platform. So with Instagram, we've always seen the hashtags and we're always recommended. I don't know, maybe not everyone is, but we're always told, make sure you're hashtagging so it'll bring it onto the algorithm for your TikTok viewers, because the For You page on TikTok works a lot different. I know you've got your Explore page on Instagram, but with TikTok, it is simply For You page. So anybody's content can come up on anyone's page. So this is why I always say, make sure you use hashtags if you can get involved in trends. If you're constantly, if you see something as funny as, and a trend can be as simple as something like, trying to think of a trend that's been going around lately. It could be as simple as, Gen Z wrote the script or something like something funny where you get people involved and something that's trending. If you can get your business involved in some engaging content that's trending, it's got a higher chance of performing really well because it's trending. People are wanting to see those videos, they're liking them, they're sharing them, they're following your page. It's always great to get with trends. So if you see any trends, even if you want to go against the grain and you want to start your own trend, you could do that as well. That would be even better. So you'll be the first to do it. But I do believe trends are always a good leverage for growing your platform. Another one, obviously, this is, I feel like, a bit of an obvious one. I think we're with website, with Instagram, with every other platform, we make sure we're consistent on it. If you are promoting your business, selling a service, a product, whatever it may be, you don't want to just post once and then dip for 6 months and not post the same content. Keep sharing. Consistency, especially for specific brand awareness posts, and this is not just like selling products. Consistency is so important. I'll go as far as saying it's probably the most important thing. And I don't mean, by the way, I don't want anyone to get overwhelmed thinking when I say consistency, oh my goodness, Ria's told us we need to post 6 times a day. Realistic consistency. I don't expect any business, obviously, without you've got that much on throughout the day. Even as a marketing assistant, as a social media manager, there are so many other aspects to socials aside from just posting multiple times a day on TikTok. You want to make sure that every other platform is going smoothly. You want to make sure you're consistent everywhere else. I feel like there's quite a lot of places we need to be so prominent on these days, but TikTok is always an easy one to post consistently on, because I'll say I strip it back a little bit from your website or for Instagram. TikTok's very unaesthetic, for choice of a better word. It's not like with your Instagram. I know a lot of people with their cover photos that they want that aesthetic. They want that almost like, billboard sort of, little photograph, like static. You don't need to worry about any of that with TikTok. It's far more relaxed. I'm going to use the word of far more relaxed than anywhere else. So I would always say, post consistently. Don't worry too much about it. If you've got an idea, if you're sitting in the office and you think this would be fab, let's get people involved in doing this one, go and do it. If you've somebody that's just come in and you're thinking, oh, they're an expert in this field, let's get them to promote this service that we offer. Just go and hit record, stick it up. That's the best way. And also as well, this falls into, if anybody's any questions for after, just let me know. In regards to editing apps, I would always recommend CapCut if you are working off your mobile device. CapCut is super smooth to use. It's also a sister brand from TikTok, so TikTok also own CapCut. So in the CapCut app, they'll have plenty of your commercialized sounds so that your videos don't get muted. So it's always the best, in my opinion, anyways. Be like reasonable as well price wise. If you wanted to pay for CapCut Pro, I don't recommend it. If you're just starting out and maybe you're just, you know, posting a few videos, CapCut, the free version, is absolutely fab. I would just say that once you have created your content and edited your content, posted your content, delete it on your drafts on CapCut, because it does take up a lot of storage. So just to note that as well. Same with your drafts on TikTok. I would try and always recommend to any brand, if you're going off a work phone or if you're working on your personal phone for your brand, maybe try and keep your drafts to a very low minimum. TikTok is fairly decent storage wise on your phone. But when your drafts start building up, you might run into some issues with your storage on your phone. So just to be careful for that. Obviously, we've got the use of TikTok ads as well, which is very different. We've got ads on TikTok, we've got ads through Meta and all that. But the use of TikTok ads on TikTok, I find, is absolutely perfect. Again, it's going to come up on anyone's page, which is wonderful. We've also got the collaborative use of UGC content. If anybody doesn't know what UGC content is, it is user-generated content. So this is actually something that I also started working in at the start of the year there in March. So I am a user-generated content creator as well. So if you were to ever see, and I'm sure we do, especially this time of year in retail, we're probably getting bombarded with them. But if we see, you know, adverts coming up on our page, very much like the style you've seen on TV, you know, like very short clips, you know, more acting, I'm gonna say, not acting, but like it's not a familiar face, or it's not someone that has a public profile that you perhaps know and you recognize. These are more people, specific content creators that specialize in ad strategy and just very fantastic methods of implementing that into content for you that then you can run as an ad. So TikTok's brilliant for that as well. And again, it goes back to running them as an ad. They always perform well. Even better for anybody that does a TikTok shop or wants to get on the TikTok shop, you'll notice this will be an absolutely incredible platform. Focus on storytelling as well, I want to touch upon. Again, kind of goes back into your consistency and what we were saying about your trends and your more relaxed style of content. Focus on your storytelling for brand awareness. I cannot stress that enough. If you are someone who's not about the hard and fast sale, if you're not promoting on TikTok shop and you are maybe stripping it back and you want to talk more about the services you offer, make sure you're talking about your storytelling. So people on TikTok, people on social media in general these days, like myself, by the way, are nosy, and we love to see the face behind the brand. And if anybody is CEO of your own business and you are watching, please make sure that it's not just, you know, the marketing team that are getting involved. We want to see you. We want to see the CEO. We want to see the face behind the brand, and we want to know why you've started the company or what ideas you had for the company, or what you were doing before the company. We want to know it all. We want to get to know you as well as what you have to offer as well. So storytelling is a massive factor in content, especially on TikTok, because you do have the option of extending your content now up to 10 minutes long. So if you're feeling like you want a little chit chat and you're happy to sit there for the 10 minutes and talk through it, that's perfect. I mean, I always do recommend that shorter length content, roughly 3 minutes, I would say. I wouldn't go any more than that, but storytelling is always amazing. And finally, wanted to just touch upon as well, cross promote your videos. Please do this. I always, for any brands that I start with on TikTok that are starting up on TikTok, I'll always tell them, make sure you are carrying your existing audience over to TikTok. Make sure, you know, it's different styles of content. So for example, working with brands at the moment who are fairly new on TikTok, they're definitely establishing a strong presence this last number of months, which is amazing to see. But I've always told them, you have a fantastic customer base on your Instagram, on your website, face to face, and you're telling people about it. Always cross promote your videos. Make sure you're telling people on these other platforms why they should go on to TikTok, what different content strategy they're going to see on TikTok. Are they going to see more behind the scenes? People love to see that. Are they going to see a more relaxed, office type environment, rather than your very polished website and Instagram platform? We want to cross promote those videos. Tell them why they should go on to TikTok. Tell them why it's going to be different, what they have to expect there. So I'd always say cross promote them by sticking them up. If it's for Instagram, for example, if you've got a strong following on Instagram, if you just stick up your TikTok, put a little link on the video, put it in your story. That's as simple as it is. Or if you want to, you could tell people about it and you see them face to face, you can laugh and joke and say, oh, you see the TikTok I posted the other day. I think it's always important, just bring over whatever your strongest audience space is, whether it be a website, whether it be TikTok, implement your TikTok, bring TikTok onto that, or whether it's Instagram, sorry, bring TikTok onto that. So if it's a website that you're primarily on, I would stick in even a little video. I know that you can insert videos on websites now and it's becoming very prominent. So if you could do that, add a couple little TikToks up, it would do very well in bringing over your audience and growing your platform as well. And then we'll get on to the next slide as well. I'm just cautious of time now. One thing about me, you'll know anyways, is I can talk. So to limit all of this and all the wonderfulness that there is about TikTok, it's hard to concise it within the hour. So again, my inbox is open for any further questions. So these are a few examples of brand awareness specifically, on how these companies, I think these brands have done exceptionally well at promoting their page through simple brand awareness. So first of all, you can again take a little screenshot of this if you like, or you can just copy the link there on the screen. If you want to bring it up, I've left a little TikTok link just down below. So the first one we've got is Gen Z wrote the script. If you're looking at me thinking, Rhea, elaborate on Gen Z, what are you talking about? This is even a very new one to me. When this first came up on my page, I did have a laugh. I thought this is a very intelligent way of using a very modern, I suppose, to get younger people involved in this as well. It's a very genius strategy to get more modern or more young people on the type of service that they have to offer. So this is a lady, she owns a manor, a very beautiful manor, and she's got her daughter to help her with this content. And it's Gen Z wrote the script. So the daughter's obviously planned out what the mum's going to say. But these are phrases that have just came about in the last number of months. Some of them I don't understand. Some of them I don't know where they've came from. But they're I feel like a lot of people who are very prominent on TikTok will know these phrases. So that could be, it could be like, that's no cap, which means that's not a lie. Like, there's very funny little phrases that a lot of the younger generation are going to understand. So I think it's brilliant that there's an involvement there, because a lot of young people, especially on TikTok, are very prominent on TikTok. So you can see there that video, I think it's a little bit small for me, but I think it's 2 point something million likes, which is absolutely phenomenal. Obviously brand awareness, that woman's flying. That's amazing. There's a lot of reposts, a lot of shares, comments, interactions, which is insane. And the views are sitting on, I'd say, at least 30, 40 something million. If you click into it, it should bring it up for you. But it's excellent. It's absolutely amazing, because that's promotion for her manor. So there we go. Next one across from that is a brand that I absolutely love. Their content strategy is phenomenal, and they don't sell on TikTok Shop. They sell directly through their website. It's a brand, it's a retail company. It's called Sisters and Seekers, and it's very, again, very entertaining content, which we absolutely love. But what they do very geniusly about every entertainment style of content is they have a lot of subtle brand awareness in there. So this is another thing, even though I'm going to be the biggest promoter of entertainment type content, community type content, we want to we want to be relatable. We want to bring an audience in, and we want that relatable feeling where you feel like you know them. You're watching people on the phone constantly these days, and you feel like you know everything about them, because they share that much, and they might share something you relate to. I love that about Sisters and Seekers. But with that being said, Sisters and Seekers are always going to be known as Sisters and Seekers, because they've got the beautiful warehouse in the background, but they've maybe got a subtle Sisters and Seekers sign, or the girls in the video that you see, and maybe it's a very funny bit of content, or maybe it's like a Q&A, or maybe they're packing an order. Immediately you're going to know that's Sisters and Seekers, because they're wearing the branding, they're wearing colours, maybe they've got warehouse in the background. They've got very subtle little strategies of showing us, bringing it back to the brand, even if they're doing something as funny as this Pitbull content. So this one is actually genius as well. So they've done Mr. Worldwide. So they've done like a music video style content, where this guy's obviously dressed up in a ball cap and the suit, and it's very, very well executed. And it is to promote the fact that they ship worldwide. So again, very funny, very genius when you think about it, the way that they've done it very well. So that could be another entertainment style of content, which is going to perform very well. You're getting a message across, but it's entertaining. So for a younger audience, it grabs them in that first 3 seconds, because they're very interested to see, if it's, something funny. They know it's something funny coming because they can hear the music. That's a great way of showing it. By the way, we ship worldwide, and that also performed very well for them. You can see with their engagement there, likes, comments, shares, and their saves as well, which is amazing. We want to see saves, because saves mean people then can go back at a later date and rewatch the content. So again, a great way of getting a message across. The next one across from that then is just another style of community, bringing people involved, getting people involved that are watching the content so that they feel like they can know you, that they know you. I've done a couple of these with a few brands that I work with at the moment, and they always perform really well. It's a trend, going back to our trends and our hashtags. This is one that's always done well, and it is what time everyone arrives to the office. So if you bring it up and you watch that little video, you'll know, you probably have seen these style of videos yourselves if you watch them. But it's essentially a nice way of getting an inside scope. Oh, there's Jan, and she's come in 5 minutes late. Oh, that's so her. You'll get to know them through these little subtle work talk is what they call them now, work TikTok, work talk style videos. So you'll see behaviors in certain people in the office, and you might relate to that, and then you might really grow to like them. And that's what really we want to get people indulged in our office, and we want them to get to know us as well as what we have to offer. And then finally, the last wee piece there is actually content that I created for a brand. I think perhaps the start of this year, or maybe coming into the summertime. And it's just a funny, again, little relatable one. We are promoting a nightclub and a night we had to offer. So again, going back to just a funny, relatable piece of content that's bringing a community in. I'm sure everybody, and maybe doesn't want to admit this, but I'm sure people have maybe had accidents falling down the stairs, whether it be in a restaurant, in a public place, in a nightclub, whatever it may be. But there's going to be somebody who's going to laugh at that and relate to that. And that's what you can notice there from the shares and all the engagement on that. It's clearly been shared on because somebody sees that and somebody thinks, oh, that was me at a point. So again, another way of, you've got the branding in there. We've got the lady in the video, she's wearing the branded t-shirt. We've got like a nice I know it's in daylight, and I suppose it's probably not the best representation of the club, because that's not what it'll look like when you're at it. But still, you're going to know by watching that where it is before you've even looked at the username. So it's again another example of just using engaging, funny, community-based content that's going to help to grow your profile. And then we'll maybe zoom on to the next one, which I think is going to lead me into, yeah, it does indeed. So this leads me into our lovely guest today, who's Patricia McMahon. So Patricia is a marketing assistant for Salt Marine Cars and creates a lot of the content there for their TikTok page. So Patricia joined the team around a year and a half ago, and since September has made a huge impact on the company's TikTok profile, which you will have seen. I'm sure we've all seen some of their fantastic videos. I know I have a great laugh. They are brilliant. So we'll get Patricia, I'm going to pass the baton on to you. I'm going to let you say a few words. Tell us a little bit about your everyday role and what it is that you do at Salt Marine Cars.
Hi everyone, I'm Patricia and I work here at Salt Marine Cars in Dungannon. I'm just one of the faces behind the marketing social media pages. I take pictures of the cars, upload them to the website, I interact with staff, and I also make funny TikToks.
Brilliant. And they are very funny, Patricia, because we love to watch them. So I'm going to start by asking, so when did you first get into TikTok?
Ria, to be honest, it was about a year and a half ago, but the strategy has changed a lot from September last year because more staff want to be involved now that they see everyone else getting involved. Everyone's coming to me with their ideas instead of me going to them type of thing. So no, we would it'd be about a year and a half, but as I said, everything has changed from September with different content.
Perfect. Yeah. No, definitely. We've noticed that, and I'm sure you've had a huge impact on that as well. From getting people involved, you see it's like a snowball effect. Once one staff member gets involved, I feel the rest follows suit. It's always going to be, for anyone that's new to TikTok as well, I'm sure you can of course attest to this. Anybody in the office, maybe Patricia, that hasn't, refuses to get on TikTok or isn't on TikTok as of yet. And maybe once they see one staff member getting involved, they'll feel a wee bit more confident in getting in the next one. And then, as you say, they'll be coming after you with all the ideas themselves.
No, literally, there was one of them he's like, no, I'm never going to be that now. He's nearly in every single
That's how it works. That's how it works. Indeed. Well, that follows on to the next little slide there, Kiva, if you can bring it up for us. This is where I was just chatting through earlier today about Patricia's strategy here at Salt Marine Cars has a brilliant focus on the 5 pillar points of social media strategy. This little screenshot or this little slide, I would recommend you screenshot. It's very important. Obviously, this is very concise. I'm a visual learner and I don't want to have a slap of detail on that screen for you, but this is very important because these are always what you're going to refer back to once. If you're posting 3 times a week, 2 times a week, 5 times a week, whatever it may be. So long as you can get some of these strategies involved in your content, that's where you'll always have that opportunity for growth. And it's great to refer back to them. So Salt Marine implement a number of very simple content strategies that encourage their views and their engagement, such as these 5 pillar points. I'll let you read through them just a little bit while I talk a bit to Patricia. So as I was saying, great strategies you have in regards to our 5 pillar points, Patricia. So when you began creating content for the page, like what forms of content did you find really helped to boost your engagement the most?
Well, whenever I started interacting with staff, I seen the views going up more, and then I decided, right, well, I'm going to do funny content, get to know us a little bit better, instead of the talking stage.
Yeah.
I'd actually done a real funny video with Tony, one of the salesmen from Hyundai, and we had posted it, and the next day I went on to look, and it had over 700,000 views.
Oh,
So
brilliant.
like everything, and that just blew the whole page up. Literally, it was class to see the interaction on that.
Brilliant. And that's as simple as it is, as you say, just by deciding one day, let's get this is a great idea. Let's prank somebody. Let's do this. Let's do that. You're wearing the uniform in the video as well. So again, you're going back to brand awareness. We know who it is. We know who's in the video. And we know what you have to offer. Again, it's about wasn't it you put petrol, or you said you put
I said to him, I put diesel in an electric car, and then and I was like, oh no, petrol, sorry.
That oh my goodness, I had some laugh at that. But that again, that's what I mean. So ultimately, me hasn't a clue when it comes to cars. Like my goodness, might need to look into a car in the next couple of weeks. Don't never mind. But I like instantly watching that video. I'm gonna know what the services you have to offer because it's relating to the service. It's relating to your brand. It's on brand for you, which is excellent that it's performed very well because that's going to be memorable for most. They're always going to think of a funny video. Oh yeah, remember that girl told her boss that she put petrol or diesel in the electric car. That's gonna flag up in people's memory, and they're gonna refer that back to Salt Marine. So again, a great style of entertainment content and very well used. How often would you post then, would you say?
We would try to aim for one a day, but
Okay.
the odd time now we could post to 2 to 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Like say once out of the month, I like to do like a video on our service department on our valeting bay because it does be quite busy down there and we can't get down there all the time. So
Yes.
post actually one a day, and it could be up to 3 times a day. It
Okay.
just depends what we have to think
Yeah.
of, what we can promote, what we want to get out there. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, that's brilliant. And at least, as you say, if you're consistent, even if it's posting one style of video a month, like you might be posting once a day, every day, but there's one specific style of video, as you say, your service videos, at least everyone knows to expect that. Once you keep consistent, it's like a brand I work for at the moment, post a certain type of video every Wednesday night. So now their following on TikTok is now known, like, oh, I wonder if they posted that yet. It mightn't come up on their For You page for 5 days after the Wednesday night, but they're always going to refer back to it. They'll always see, like, I'm expecting this of them every week, and I know that if I needed a question on this, or if I wanted to see what they have to offer or what the flash sale was, it's nice to keep that consistency, even if it is as much or as little as once a day. It's nice that you're posting, as you say, consistently with a different variation of content too. Like you post a good different strategy. You're maybe sharing some of your more say like educational type content style. So you're posting what you have to offer, maybe about in regards to your service there, as you were saying, like your services. Or your service style video, you're promoting that. That's very educational. There's maybe some people that don't know that you have some things to offer, so it's good in that way as well. Following on from that, Patricia, I do want to ask, what would you say your TikTok profile has it any part to play in regards to brand awareness for the company?
Definitely. There's been a big difference and a big benefit. Like I found people from all over have like interacted with our page. It's not just the local people. One of the salesmen was out, as you do, doing a bit of shopping, and someone actually came up to him and says, I've seen you on TikTok with that wee girl. People have known us, do you know what I mean, just from TikTok.
Brilliant.
And I can definitely say our page is completely different from marketing on other things, but in a funny way, if you get me, all serious, and it definitely has a big part to play.
Oh, for sure. And we were talking about this there was just the other day. We were saying like there is a different strategy with TikTok. Like it's you can be more relaxed, you can be less aesthetic. You know, if you've got something, it just sporadically comes to your mind and oh, you think this would be good, let's do this and let's get this person involved. You know, you can always just jump at the chance. You don't have to plan things out as much, I suppose, and schedule them in and things like that. So have you ever had any, you know, chances as I would say where there's been a customer maybe come in that they've known you from TikTok or maybe that they've just seen a service you have to offer, but they've only noticed it when you posted it on TikTok?
Oh yes, no, definitely. If you hadn't even had, no one knew that we do tires, and
Oh,
also, whenever if you haven't purchased your car from us, doesn't mean that you can't come here to get your car serviced.
oh,
Like
there
most
we
people
go.
know that, if you bought a car maybe 10 mile down the road there, you can still come to Saltmarine to get it serviced.
There you are. And
Doesn't
I
mean,
didn't.
you know,
Yeah.
because you bought it here, you have to get a service here. It's open for
Oh,
everybody, definitely, 100%.
oh, well, no, I love that. That's definitely, as I said with earlier, the way that the algorithm works on TikTok, you have that opportunity you do where you can post something and you never know who's going to see it. So somebody from perhaps, you know, not our direction, somebody from like say a different area maybe sees that video on TikTok and maybe, you know, they're for some reason in the area and think, oh, sure, here, I need a tire. But I know I seen like back, you know, a couple of months ago, I seen this company in the Dungannon area who had posted, you know, there's things like there's opportunity to show off services you do offer and have a great outreach because you don't know who's actually going to see it. You know, it
Yeah,
could go on anyone's page, which is amazing. And following on from that, I really want to ask, what is your advice for any businesses who are just starting on TikTok?
Ria, just post the video. Just post it. Like, it's not about the likes, it's all about the view. It could land on anyone's For You page. Do you know what I mean? The little video that you've been like, oh, maybe it's just a 5 out of 10. I'm not going to post it. That there could blow up overnight. It could blow up, and that's where you need to start. Just post the video.
I completely agree. Couldn't agree more with that point. Just post the video. I'm forever saying this to anybody I work with as well. And I know that they like their background to look a certain way and they like their outfit to be, you know, they want to be dressed well, they want to have the makeup on, they want to maybe, you know, they wanted everything to be that polished version of what we maybe are used to with other platforms. But with TikTok, I always say to them, get them involved. If there's one of the guys in the office and he's you know he's like no I'm not filming today, and if you get him around it, just stick the camera in his face, just say look, it's as simple as this is what it is. I'm just going to ask you one question, you're the expert in this field, you know what you're talking about, let's just share this, put it up, don't overthink it, as you say, like, you know, just post it because you have no control. You never know who's going to see this video. You never know
Yeah,
what sale you're going to get or what customer you're going to get from promoting your video. So I'm the biggest advocate for that. So I don't think that you couldn't have said any better advice in my opinion. That's the best way. Just post it.
just
Thank
post
you
it.
very much. Thank you so much, Patricia. I think moving on to the next slide, that is Patricia's advice there. So definitely, guys, take that on board, note that down. If you are taking notes, just post it. As we say, that's the best way forward. Just post it. You don't know who's going to see it or where it's going to, whose For You page it's ever going to appear on. Right. So I'm conscious of time, and this is probably our most vast amount of the PowerPoint because TikTok Shop is a whole new world. Now, I'm the biggest advocate of TikTok Shop if you have product suitable to sell on TikTok Shop. So if anybody joined us today and does not know what TikTok Shop is and you're thinking, what is Rhea talking about now? TikTok is a feature within the app. Our TikTok Shop is a feature within the app that officially launched in late 2021, which is absolutely insane. I know talking firsthand with some of the account managers that work in TikTok headquarters that I liaise with quite often. I know that they always talk about how TikTok's a very, very new and upcoming platform with our TikTok Shop, which to me, I feel like it's been around for years, but it hasn't. It is only fairly new, but it allows users to discover and purchase products directly from videos, live streams, creator storefronts, and it also integrates our e-commerce with TikTok's social platform. So it enables brands, merchants, creators to showcase their products to their audience and facilitates seamless transactions. So you don't actually have to leave the app. So you can place an order even if you're watching a live stream. I'm sure we've all fell into that where we're, you know, scrolling. Next thing you know, we've got a live stream coming up with a product for sale. You know, you can get sucked in and there you go. You might find the best offers. TikTok Shop are excellent for their incentives. They offer a brilliant, you know, will it be free shipping, coupons, any of that on TikTok Shop, which is incredible. So it's very seamless. It's a smooth, once you get onto it, I mean, but as a customer, from a customer's perspective, it's a very seamless way of purchasing. That brings us on to the next slide about that, which is we're going to talk about this is how it's going to look. If anybody isn't familiar with TikTok Shop, maybe you haven't really gotten yourself onto TikTok just yet and you're thinking, I've never ever heard of TikTok Shop, I don't know what you're talking about. This is exactly how it's going to appear on your screen. So you can see there, it'll appear on your For You page. You can see in the first little clip, you've got product links there. So for example, on a type of video, and this is the same way it'll appear on an ad. If someone's video has come up on an ad on your page, you'll have a little like an orange shopping basket just above where the username sits, and you can see that someone maybe has linked a product in that video. So as you can see firsthand how seamless of an experience it is to shop, how easy it is to shop. And then if you're going on, like say, I always like to call it virtual footfall, but it's just in the middle photograph there, you can see that's how it appears on a platform or on a profile when someone has a TikTok Shop. If you swipe left, there'll be a little shopping basket emoji. If you want to have a little scroll down there, that's how you'll see what the company has to offer. You usually see best sellers or most shopped products will come up first. And then of course we've got our live shopping as well. So if you're not sure what a live stream looks like, we've inserted a little photo in the third, over in the third one there. You can see your viewers, you can see your likes, and that's who's liked your video, which is always great for your shop health score. You want to have your likes up. You can interact with it as well, which I always say for brands that do sell on TikTok Shop, live streams are very important. A lot of them now, I know people maybe defer away from them because they can be quite QVC-like, but in my opinion, you can make them whatever you want to be. It doesn't have to be a hard and fast sale. If you wanted to sit there and chat through the reasons why you started your product and whatever works best for you, I would always recommend that you go for that and you do that, whatever style of live stream you want to go for. But it's amazing because you get to show your product in real time. So if it's product like, for example, say if it's clothes, you'll get to try them on in real time. If it's like a product, that you apply, you'll get to show it in real time. It's a very authentic way of selling almost, which I love about it. So that's exactly how it'll appear. And then the next slide, we've got a couple little few more screenshots, I think. This is just inside the seller center. And again, I'm cautious for time here, but again, my DMs are open because this is very, say, overwhelming to anybody that hasn't seen it before. TikTok Seller Center, and I'm going to say this very loud and clear, but TikTok are very, very, very exclusive and want everything to be done directly on TikTok. Obviously, you have your logistic providers, you'll be able to ship through, say Royal Mail, DPD, whatever it may be, but you have a very exclusive profile on TikTok Shop. So for example, here we've just I've inserted a couple little clips. If you want to take a screenshot, these are only a few examples. They've no personal data on them. They're not anybody I know. But these this shows the layout just so you get a better idea. Anything you need in regards to your orders, to your returns, to your shipping, any questions, to your help center, everything is on this storefront here. This is your seller center. So this is how it's going to appear. And you just obviously click into where it says orders, manage orders, refunds. You've got your promotions selection as well, your marketing tools. If you wanted to run a flash sale on your shop, which is always what I'd recommend coming up to this time of year, especially. It's an excellent way, obviously, of promoting sales. If you have any current offers going on your website, you get them onto your TikTok Shop as well. And it's all done, everything in regards to product pricing, product listing, sales, after sales, everything is all on the TikTok Seller Center. So if you, as I say, wanted to grab a little screenshot there, it is, if I was to sit here, I could spend another hour just going through these slides. That's how complex, I want to say, but not in a negative way. They're complex, but they're great once you get to know them. And it's like anything too. Like it's like if Shopify is your main platform for selling through your website, Shopify is always going to seem daunting at the start because there's so many buttons to click and you see figures and you see numbers and you think, oh my gosh, how am I going to get my head around all of this? The Seller Center is very much the same, but once you get onto it and once you know what you're doing, it's actually so simple, and it's everything's very specifically laid out that if you needed to get into a certain order, you're going to find it there. And one thing that I love about TikTok is, again, go back to that with it being very exclusive, they do not miss a beat. So if you had an order that was refunded and you're waiting to see, oh, I can't give them a refund right now because I don't know if the product's on its way to me, I haven't received it in my warehouse yet. They actually have, down to the very logistics, they'll have everything there for you. So it'll tell you when the buyer has shipped it back to you. It'll also tell you as a seller if your order's in transit, has it arrived yet? Like, it's very, very specific. It'll tell you obviously your direct GMV as well. It'll tell you analytics from the past 365 days. You've got options of a week, 20th, you know, you can refresh it as well. So your finance, everything is involved in the Seller Centre. Go on before I go down a rabbit hole, we'll get into the next slide, because I can honestly open the floodgates on the Seller Centre and I will not stop talking. So this is basically the requirements in becoming a seller. And I know this is probably one that everybody wants to know. Always ensure your TikTok is in good standing. Make sure as well, you can take a little screenshot of this if needs be, but your TikTok account must be in good standing. So you don't want to have any violations for obviously anything inappropriate. You want your TikTok account health to be in good standing before you obviously can then go on and start up your TikTok Seller Centre account. You've got your business requirements as well as noted there. So it might request that you verify your business through documents like a business registration certificate, tax identification number, anything like that. It's gonna obviously ask, you know, it needs to see that you're a registered business before you get yourself on as a seller. Then you've got your product eligibility as well, which I just noted in there. So product eligibility, your products must comply with TikTok Shop's policies. TikTok, as I say, don't let anything slip through their radar, but they're very specific on making sure that these products are eligible for a purchase. So you can't obviously sell prohibited or restricted items, just so you know that. Payment setup as well. So you'll need to set up a payment processor that supports TikTok's platform. So it has to be like an approved payment method. Manpower I put down here, which is a big one. TikTok, from experience, TikTok Seller Centre cannot be ran by one person. It can, I mean, if you're very ambitious and you're on it, you know, very frequent and you don't let anything slip, it can be ran. I just would say you're better with the support and with the manpower. So if you're already an established business, get yourselves on the Seller Centre. If you have a website that's going very well, if you're someone that has literally just launched a website in the last week, I'm going to just say, maybe think about promoting yourself for brand awareness first on TikTok Shop before you start thinking about getting yourself onto the shop. I've got a very eager client at the moment who we've just started on for her website, and she is dying to get on the TikTok Shop. And I'm saying, let's walk before we can run, because TikTok is absolutely sensational. And that's my goal for them, is to get them on the TikTok Shop, because I truly believe that that's where they're going to flourish. But we really want to promote our products first. We want to have a bit of an established name before we sort of get ourselves onto TikTok, and you open a whole other world, because that's essentially what it is. Content obviously and engagement as well. Just make sure that you're in a good standing. This goes on to TikTok account standing. You want to make sure that your content is on, you know, on brand, and that you're promoting good promotional styles. You use your 5 pillar points again. Entertainment, engagement. We want to see how-tos. We want to see what your product is, how to use it. You have to have more informed content in that way, as well as your funny and your engaging type of content like that. We want to see what your product is. You know, you have to have it related to almost like, I've just stumbled across it. Statics out the window. We need a video, you know, how to going through it. What is your product? Why did you start the product? Why should I buy your product? You know, so that's a simple one, I suppose. Shipping and fulfillment as well. So you'll need a logistics system in place. This is where I'm going onto Royal Mail every DPD. You need something to fulfill your orders. That's going to provide a smooth customer experience, which is not only going to help the customer, it's going to save your life as well. So it's definitely an important one. And then obviously the seller agreement as well. So you're going to need to agree to just TikTok's terms and conditions for sellers. So we'll go on to the next one. I'll speed round through this because I know that we are crunched on the time. So in comparison to other selling platforms, yes, TikTok really is, and I've included that there to be funny, but it genuinely is a whole new world. So this is why I'm saying to anybody that is considering TikTok Shop, my opinion is absolutely get yourselves on it, but just make sure that you are aware that it is totally different from Shopify. It's totally different from any other distributing platform. It is completely exclusive to its own. It's very, very new. Even TikTok Shop themselves will admit the team behind it. It's very new, but it has insane opportunity. If we go on to the next little slide there, this, if you want to take a little screenshot of this so that I'm not racing through it too much, but this is essentially, when I say it's a whole other world, it's not just TikTok. It's not just TikTok Shop. You've got TikTok Studio. You've got TikTok Business Center. You've got a lot involved in it. These are tools that are supposed to help you and increase your sales, increase your brand awareness, your growth of your platform. So it's not a negative. It's always a positive. And they're great references. So for example, for your studio, TikTok Studio is for brands, for marketers, for creators to manage, create and optimize their content. So it's going to show you, if there's opportunities of trends and sounds, great strategies for implementing products into content. It's always a great one to refer to if you are selling on TikTok Shop. And even if you're not and you have a personal account, TikTok Studio is brilliant for that. So it's definitely a great tool for promoting, for marketing. I think a lot of marketing assistants really favor the studio for that. Then we've got our business center, which is centralized platform for designed for business and advertisers to manage their TikTok marketing efforts. So TikTok Business Center is, again, it'll show a lot to do with similar in a way, but more not about your trends and your musics and all that there. It's very, or your songs, it's very much for those who are selling, they'll need Business Center, and it's going to be their Bible. The same with TikTok Shop Academy. I've just realized I forgot that one as well. We're not done. It is a whole new world. You've got TikTok Shop Academy, which is going to be your TikTok Bible. It is everything you ever need a question answered. It's going to be in the TikTok Academy. You'll never ever have something that won't be unanswered. We're going to click on to the next slide because, again, I'm just really conscious of time here. So these are examples. If you want to have a little screenshot of these, you can have a little look through them. But these are examples of brands that I've seen that we all know and love that have used TikTok Shop to really drive their sales. I mean, you can see there for the live streams for both Made by Mitchell and P&OEs. I know these are more in the cosmetic and beauty line, but we have other examples of household items, perfumes, clothing. But these two brands in particular have went on to smash literal records, and the whole time TikTok Shop has been around, and went on to promote their products in a way through live stream that's generated millions, quite literally millions, which is so fantastic. And it's excellent to see that, you know, these brands have really flourished through TikTok, and this is, I'd say, this is their primary sale, you know, platform, which is amazing. So it is so doable, and that's why I'm saying, like, it's a great place to get onto if you have products to sell. We've got a couple of little examples there. I think so on the next slide as well, if we can get that up as well. There's a couple more examples just to show you there is good variety. I know that maybe my experience has been a lot of you know, perfumes. I've done household items as well, beauty, clothing, a lot of that, but there are so, like, we've got Fairy Liquid on there. I mean, does anybody remember the toilet roll as well on TikTok Shop? It completely took off a couple of years ago. You can find anything on it. What I love about TikTok as well is they usually, and I will say this, 9 times out of 10 always have the best offers. You can see there, if you take a screenshot of that, you can see I've got some with free shipping for an example for you. We've got our flash sales, which is when you get involved in campaigns, and I know I don't have much longer to talk about that, but that's another absolutely excellent one as well with TikTok. We'll click on to the next slide. I'll not keep you much longer than this, but please do take a screenshot of this one, because these are the features I want you guys to know what comes with TikTok Shop. So to go through these quite quickly, obviously access to a large extended audience, which is amazing, an engaged audience, seamless shopping experience, which we've talked about, enhanced discoverability, which I was talking about just with, you never know who's gonna see your videos. It could be, there's so many people on TikTok Shop, you could post a video and, you know, someone in the US could see it. The only thing is, obviously, just to note, if you are selling on TikTok Shop, you must be over the age of 18 and living in the UK to shop on TikTok Shop. So it's not available in the Republic, and it's also not available to shop from the US or anywhere else, you know, anywhere in Europe. It has to just simply be over the age of 18 and living in the UK, just to note as well. Obviously, your integration with content creation is another feature as well. Low cost setups as well, guys, because it is easy to get onto. It's just, obviously, there's a lot of detail and information needed to get onto it. I don't want to talk too much on those before we really are going over time. But obviously we've got a lot of features that are definitely just worthwhile campaigns, which means TikTok will provide these incentives. Like I've said, TikTok and essentially let this be maybe one of the last points I'm taking away, but TikTok intend to be the bigger Amazon. So their ambitions are to be the bigger Amazon. So a lot of their incentives are very similar to what Amazon provide. If you've maybe noticed, if you're a buyer on TikTok Shop, if you've ever bought off it yourself, you'll know this. But they are excellent and very generous. And sometimes I think, you know, how are they getting away with doing this and giving us these many, you know, these coupons? And it doesn't fall back on the business. So if someone, for example, if I have a brand and I'm promoting my product and my customer is able to use a £2 off voucher when they spend over £8, I'm not taking the fall for that loss of £2. That's TikTok covering that. Again, don't ask me why or how they're doing it, but it's an incentive they want to provide because it's so fairly new. We've only started in 2021. They want to really become the bigger Amazon. So you've got partnership opportunities with creators, and that's all directly through TikTok Shop, which means you cut out that fee of having to pay your influencers or having to pay your affiliates or your content creators. People can request product with you as well, and it's all on a gifting basis, so low cost in regards to that as well. And that's where it falls into your cost-effective marketing and advertising. If we can get on to the next slide, I feel like we are Hopefully, yeah, we are. We have any questions part of time that okay then. Sorry, I hadn't rushed through that last little slide, guys. But if, as I say, any questions at all, please do write them into I'll put up my little screenshot again of the Instagram handle if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Ria. I'll let you take a breath because you have rattled through like a train. You've covered so much. I was trying to take notes the whole way through it to go, I'll do a recap at the end because I could literally spend another hour just recapping what you've actually covered.
There's not much to talk about.
I'm conscious now that we have our hours up and we have some participants that have to leave now. So what I will ask, Ria's already said it. The questions, unfortunately, we're not going to have time to go through them now at this stage, but there's a lot of quite similar ones. I'm going to download them for you, Ria, anyway, so that you can have a look at them after. Ria has given us her handle. Kiva has put it up there, our moderator, in the chat function again. It's Ria Daly _. Is that right? Actually,
Yeah.
I think it might be just a wee typo on that. Sorry, Kiva, to point out your mistakes publicly
Okay.
on the live webinar, but it's Ria Daly _. I know Ria is happy to answer any questions after this because Ria, I really appreciate you coming on today, along with Patricia as well, to cover. There's just such a vast amount of things to think about in TikTok. The good thing is, I know you were suggesting people taking screenshots and things like that. We have been putting notes into the chat as we've gone along. We're going to share your slides with everybody. So
Perfect.
all the video examples and stuff that you've put in as well, from TikTok, the links, everything will be included, folks. So you'll have those slides. You can spend your time going through them. You can click on the links, watch all those examples that Ria has gone through as well, and take your time exploring some of the things that Ria has talked about, particularly TikTok Studio, TikTok Academy. I've got a feeling that a lot of the questions I'm seeing here are quite similar in terms of how do you keep up to date with the trends, consistency in posting, what are the best times, and things like that. A lot of that's going to be, you're going to find those answers in TikTok Academy. Am I right, Ria?
Yes. So
Okay.
TikTok Studio is probably your best option for trends and for your, more content sort of style things. TikTok Academy then be more of your help center, I'm going to call it, the better choice of words. So where you go if you have any questions.
Great. Thank you so much. I have a feeling that a lot of the questions that come in, I'd say they are a lot of overlap. They're quite similar. Some of the ones that have been sent to me privately here. I have a feeling you're going to get those answered in TikTok Academy. Definitely what I'm taking away from today is we need a follow-up workshop on TikTok. There's so much, and I know the businesses that are on this range from those that are just starting out and thinking about getting onto TikTok and maybe are just getting on it personally themselves and starting to explore it, and there's ones that are already maybe at the process of setting up their TikTok shops and beyond as well. So we've quite a vast range of people. It's great to see, and it was brilliant to have Patricia, her in the car as well, ever the car saleswoman doing her bit from the car, even though really was doing it for a bit of peace and quiet, in fairness, as we know, but trying to escape the rest of the staff at the showroom. But it just shows you that there's such an opportunity. We're so used to hearing about, beauty and clothing and seeing that in TikTok, but there's a massive opportunity for other industries as well. I know there's somebody on the webinar today who's asking questions. They're in the agri tractor sales industry, and again, there's huge opportunity there to create brand awareness. And Ria, I know you've spoke about that. So unfortunately, we're out of time for today's webinar. We're going to send you the slides. Along with the slides, folks, I am going to send you honestly, trust me, it is a 1-minute evaluation form that's going out on behalf of Mid Ulster Council to get a bit of feedback on events such as today. This has been a brilliant one, I have to say. There was huge interest in it, as you can imagine. And it really is, we're talking about trends. This is something that's really trending, and people are now starting to think, okay, I can start to use this. And I think, Ria, you would agree, maybe the best way is just to get in and start exploring it personally yourselves if you haven't already done so. And as Patricia said, just post it. That's basically one of the big takeaways is don't overthink it. Just post it. If it's in your head, just do it and see what happens. So along with the email we'll send out, there's also, I would direct people as well to other events and webinars that are still going on this week that the council are providing. And if you want to see that, again, it'll probably go to the chat now, but the website is www.midulstercouncil.org/enterprise week. Tomorrow, for any of the women that are on this webinar, there are still some tickets left. It's getting tight, but we'll squeeze you in Pomeroy Forest tomorrow. We have an in-person event, Flourish Wealth and Wellness for Women Entrepreneurs with Lynette Fay and guests. So it'll be a fabulous one to attend as well. And there's other webinars going on. One of them that comes to mind is AI and digital marketing and things like that. So go onto the website, have a look. You'll see what else is there. And I should say everybody that's on the webinar, or if you've attended any during the week as well, all your names are also going to the council for their Chairs Prize draw on Friday. So there's some brilliant prizes there, and winners will be announced on Friday as well. So as well as attending, you have a chance to win some fabulous prizes. I want to say a huge thank you to Ria and a big thank you to Patricia as well. It was brilliant to have a local business on talking about how TikTok has really impacted them as well. Ria, thank you so much. And
Thank you very much for having me.
this is not the end of the TikTok discussion. There
Oh,
are
no.
more things to do. And I think we will look into some follow-up workshops for local businesses in the Mid-Ulster area as well. So on behalf of Mid-Ulster District Council, to Ria, Patricia, to everybody on the webinar, thank you so much for your time today. And hopefully I will see you at some further events and webinars. I hope you've enjoyed it. And folks, have a lovely afternoon. I'll see you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much,
Bye,
Denise.
Ria.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.